Pittsburgh Pirates, they could have had Garrett Cole. They could have had Tyler Glass. No, they did have those guys, right? They did. Remember Andrew McCutchen, Starling Marte, Gregory Polanco? That was a good outfield. Barry Bonds, Bobby Bonilla, Andy Van Slyke. That was a good outfield, and they still couldn't win. So do you think they could win with the outfield that they have now? The outfield they have now, I mean, Gregory Polanco is still out there. No question about it. Polanco is still there. But who else do they have? Do they have a center fielder? It could be Brian Reynolds. Do they have a left fielder? It could be Guillermo Heredia. It could be Jason Martin. It's not a very good team. Josh Bell had such a terrific year last year that you hope that he even comes close to what he did last year. Doesn't have a lot of protection in the lineup. Adam Frazier will be playing second base, although he could be playing center field if they move Cole Tucker to second base. Kevin Newman had a great season. Expect him to have a nice year this year. Colin Moran over at third base. We're hoping for a little power from Colin Moran, but you know what? On this ball club, I don't think Colin Moran is going to do it. I think Colin Moran is going to wind up hitting about 265, 270. He's 27 years old. Hits you about 15 home runs. That's Colin Moran. And let's get to the outfield. Polanco. He's got the distinction of being the Pirates' highest paid player with a salary of $8.6 million this year and $11.6 million in 2021 with club options. But that almost assures Polanco going to follow McCutchen and Starling Marte onto the trading block. And it might happen soon. Might be done before you even hear this podcast. Okay? Or this, little, whatever you call it. Okay? So the Pirates' best bet is to play Polanco and hope he outperforms what people expect and shows that he's healthy. And look, it's going to be... but Polanco has never batted more than .258. He's never scored more than 83 runs. He has stolen 17 bases only once. So he's not even a Starling Marte, but he looks good, 6'5", 235. He's got a long swing. He's streaky. But some people still think he's going to be pretty good. I am not one of them. I think that his name is better than his production will be. So for Polanco, if you have him, if he gets off to a good start, he's the good player to trade. If he hits 250 with 15 home runs and 8 to 10 stolen bases, I think that's his upside. All right, last year was a lost year. He rehabbed from surgery, delayed his debut until the end of April. He returned. He went back on the injured list. Came back. He went back on the injured list at the end of June with the left shoulder, and that's where he stayed all year. So not very high on Polanco. As far as Brian Reynolds is concerned, he started 25 games in center field last year for the Pittsburgh Pirates, and this could be a nice player. Brian Reynolds could be a very nice player on this Pirates team. So when you're thinking of Brian Reynolds, and he's going to go for only a couple of dollars, he'll hit you about 290 to 300, 15 homers, 5 to 7. He's 25 years old, 5 to 7 stolen bases. He came in from the trade for Andrew McCutchen with the Giants, okay? In Indianapolis, he hit over 360. Before getting called up to the majors when he replaced Starling Marte. So he could be the only player that I'm recommending on spending a couple of dollars for if you got Brian Reynolds. The other outfielder for the Pirates, Guillermo Heredia, Jason Martin. Heredia is the only one who could actually... who might be able to do something in that Pirate outfield. If you're in an NL only, I would suggest drafting Guillermo Heredia, who I think will hit you about 250. Not going to do much, but he's got the potential to do a little bit more. He had 3 seasons in Seattle, and then he went to Tampa Bay as part of that 5-player trade last year. The change of scenery really didn't do him any good, but he is he's made moderate gains in power, and he could do. He's been a negative on the base pass, only 6 out of 18 stolen base attempts, so he's 29 years old. So if you're going to spend more than $1 for him, you actually may have a little bit of hope for him to beat that dollar price. Over in the pitching staff for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Joe Musgrove, Trevor Williams, Chris Archer, Chad Kuehl could come back from injury. Jameson Taillon, don't forget, is out. Trevor Williams is the guy that I like on this pitching staff. Trevor Williams, I've had Trevor Williams for a couple of years. Last year was a lost year for Trevor Williams. Prior to that, Trevor Williams was a pretty good pitcher and very unknown, and I always managed to get him for only $1 or $2. But Trevor Williams will give you a 4.3 ERA, a 1.3 WHIP, and maybe 120 strikeouts. 2018, he was terrific. 2019, he finished the year with a 5.38 ERA. He had a lot of injuries. He allowed 27 home runs. He had 15 the year before, so he really got hit hard with the injuries. But his fastball velocity ticked up in 2019. So his swinging strike rate was up. So there's still a chance that he could come back to his 2018, where he had an ERA of 3.11, and he had a WHIP of 1.18, and but not a lot of strikeouts. 126 strikeouts in 170 innings, and that was in his good year. So I'm not very high on Trevor Williams either. All right, coming back to the catching department for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Jacob Stallings and Luke Maile. Proceed at your own risk. The closer could very well be Keon Keela, and Kyle Crick is the other guy who may wind up as the closer for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Kyle Crick, formerly with the Giants. The Giants tried to groom him to be a closer there, and right now it's a toss-up. If you get one, I would advise you to get the other. It's an open audition. If he gets 10 saves, he's got the fastball velocity to be very much part of the closing team. He allowed just under 2 homers per 9 innings last year, but he did strike out over 11 batters. Strikeout per walk, 11 strikeouts per 9 innings. He's improved his strikeout rate every year. And look, I'm telling you that Kyle Crick could be a closer here. Most people are relying on Keon Keela, who, in my opinion, I liked him when he first came up, but he's 26 years old. He's the favorite right now to be the closer. He had a rough 2019. He had a shoulder injury that cost him over 2 months. He had some altercations with the front office. All right, the results were positive when he pitched. He struck out about 28% of the batters that he faced. So go into this draft looking at Keon Keela as the closer. But if you can back him up with Kyle Crick, you'll be doing a good job. Mitch Keller could be part of this rotation. He pitched in AAA last year. He's 22 years old, okay? And I saw him pitch in the Arizona Fall League. Looked pretty good, okay? So he's a workhorse. He's the kind of guy that can make an impact on this ball club. Brian Hayes could wind up being the third baseman, okay, on this team. Tremendous defensive player. His arm and his glove grade out very well. He's got great instincts for fielding the position. Look, his hit tool is okay. His future game power is mostly a projection. He really hasn't shown it yet. But Brian Hayes could wind up being the third baseman on this team. He's got such quick hands. He's got a potential to hit around 280, 285 at the major league level. Okay? So keep your eye out on Brian Hayes as a possible third baseman. Travis Swaggerty, who only played at A-ball. You may hear his name a little bit. O'Neill Cruz, who also played at A-ball. Raw. He's absolutely raw, but he hit close to 290 with 15 home runs. Keep an eye on that guy as well. And Cole Tucker. Cole Tucker could be a speedster who could steal you some bases, stole 35 bases in Double-A. And that's the Pittsburgh Pirates for you. The Pirates have the Pirates could be the worst team in baseball. Let's put it that way. Worst team in baseball. So I'm not even going to go over there. I'm not betting on them at all. I'm not even, whatever their over-unders, I'm going under. Going under. That's the Pittsburgh Pirates.